pick a side. Only two options, be with the winners or the other guys. Yeah, ain't no time, we already on the way. Better get themselves in line, thought I told you we don't play. The team going nuts, the score going up, morale going down, the fans packing up. Now all the kids got a new hero. They ain't never seen so many zeros. And that's when the crowd starts to shout. Yeah, you know who's up in the house tonight. The champions are back in your town. Feel the stands and make them shout tonight. The champions about to get down. You know who's up in the house tonight. The champions are back in your town. Feel the stands and make them shout tonight. The champions about to get down. Yeah, spill venom out the side of my pores. We came to battle, we came for war. Digging in the mud, carry across the globe. No matter the weather, rain, sunny or snow. I guess all the sacrifice was worth it. The pain made perfect and gave me a purpose, yeah. And I still don't get no breaks.
What a night for a fight. Under the lights, my name is Todd Grisham. We are here at the Empire Fight Camp. Next to me is Johnny Nelson.
Todd, always a pleasure to work with you. Always a pleasure.
And now it's time for our Saul Canelo. Terrence Bud Crawford, the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. He also can crack it.
This bout is scheduled for...
You've heard of people dancing underneath the moonlight? Tonight, it's a fight. After months of uncertainty, we finally have a fight. No rest for the weary. That big hook doesn't land. A nice breeze in the air, and this has to feel so foreign to these fighters, Johnny, as they box outside.
How picturesque is this, Todd? How perfect is this? It's perfect for us, not for the fighters because they're the ones getting hit, but for us, how picturesque is this? This is what it's all about. This is the beauty of our sport.
That counter shot lands. They're giving us a high-tempo show. This is a high-octane battle. A perfect counter lands. If you're a counter puncher, then basically you do the counter attack. You let them get their punch off first, and then you answer in kind.
Reaction is second to none. It's the blink of an eye, and they're waiting for any little twitch you do. So you've got to fight a counter puncher smart.
This has been a very competitive round between these two.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Do you believe this? Beautiful counter shot. No rest for the weary. There's a counter shot. When you're fighting a counter puncher, you want to bait them in to throw first. Make them think you're going to throw a punch so that they exchange.
They have got great ring IQ. Counter punchers are the best.
Neither fighter willing to slow down. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Talk about Alvarez in that last round. Well, we're entering desperation mode here. Gonna need a knockout.
You know, I've been in fights like that.
Get back out and win the round.
Here we go. It's round 2. So the fight will continue. How do they turn things around?
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. You'd like to see someone use a jab here to establish a boxing presence, but no, they just want to fight. Both of these fighters have the conditioning to go the distance, no problem. They also have the power to end this with one punch. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. You can tell who's stronger and who's faster. You'd like to see more jabs. He threw a punch and just got countered. Just missed with that hook. These two are the perfect dance partners.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
Good counter punching. We hear that old phrase, second win. You've got to find it somehow.
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. If you get desperate, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Jab misses. A perfect counter shot. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Nice counter punch right up the middle. Big whiff with the right hook. Good counter punch. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Talk about Alvarez in that last round. As bad as boxing judging can be sometimes, there's no doubt who won that round.
Dominance, without a doubt, made it look so easy.
I love that. I love that. That jab's slick. Good work. He's thinking.
And there's the bell for round 3. Coming off that fantastic last round, let's see if he can keep his momentum going.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything worked. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
I've seen some aggressive fighters. They can terrorize the life out of you before they've even thrown a shot. The strength they have, the speed they have, and that knockout punch, they want to punch through you. They don't want to punch you. They want to punch straight through you. So you've got to be careful.
And he scores with the counter. He misses with that jab. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. You don't want to trade shots. What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
What you've got to do, Toddy, is anticipation. You've got to wait. You just got to throw caution to the wind and just hope. You're never going to know where the shots are coming from. You just got to put in a guess.
drop their guard, they get caught. They exchange punches. And that hook misses. Chad does not score. You've heard the phrase, finding a second win. I don't think I need to tell you which one of these fighters needs to find it.
The middleweights are the best you can ever come across. Obviously, the glamour is a heavyweight, but the middleweight, it's the size of the average man or woman. When you get in there and you're letting the shots go, you've got power, you've got speed, you've got pace. You can stand, you can dance, you can do everything. We can look back in history. Do you know the amazing fights at middleweight are ridiculous? That is what writes our history books.
You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Talk about Alvarez in that last round. What would you tell this guy if he's got to do something different?
Wow, it's like two different leagues.
Now it's a tougher fight, and he's going to be confident. Great round, great round. Now, relax, relax. Now, don't want to look.
Here we go to the fourth round. Not the start that they wanted, but let's see what they can do in this round.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up, just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
Can't land that jab. Tried to score with that hook, but missed. Good idea, but misses with the left hook. They call it the chin. How strong is your chin? Do you have a glass chin? These are things that can affect the fight.
What a gift. What a gift it is to have a chin where you know you can walk through anything and everything. When you let those shots go and it's just bouncing off and they're walking you down, it's so demoralizing. It absolutely breaks your heart. What else can you do?
How about that time counter shot? That left hook missed. Back and forth they go. Neither fighter willing to back down.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Punch, counter punch. They stop the hook there. That counter punch caught him clean. You can tell one of these fighters is starting to fade. What does he need to do to get back in this contest?
Midway through the fight, if you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're going to find out.
Beautiful counter punch. The straight right just misses. This is the kind of fight you expect from two world-class elite middleweights. Nice counter. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Talk about Alvarez in that last round. That bell could not have come soon enough for this guy.
Every second, every minute of this fight is important. Every second, every...
Yes, I like that one. Good on.
On to the fifth we go. Well, they got battered last round. How do they turn their fortunes around?
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on him. That's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
You've seen all the famous boxing movies, the training scenes, the gym work. That's what it all boils down to. Who's going to have more endurance?
Look back in the history books. Some of the best fighters in the world were the middleweights. Yes, the glamour division is the heavyweights, we know. But I'm telling you now, you look right there. These guys are on it. Fast, sharp, powerful. But it hurts, and you can imagine that being you. They're the size of an average man.
Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. Nice punch. Nice punch. Talk about punches and hold that thought. We've never seen Canelo in this sort of trouble. How is this fight still continuing?
Now they've got to wake up. They've got to get on the back foot, clear the head a little bit, then jump back into it again. It's all about the hustle. Get back on it.
Both of these fighters have had their moments.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
These punches coming from every angle. This fight has a real good flow to it. I don't think it's going to be a boxing match. This is going to be a fight. That jab doesn't score. Swing and a miss with that left hook. Nice counter shot. Well done with that counter shot. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talk about Alvarez in that last round. Well, he is in big trouble here. He may have been saved by the bell.
Needs a knockout without a doubt. Needs to go out there and think...
Don't want to lose this fight, do you? Come on.
Let's start the sixth. Let's see how they bounce back here in this round.
Now he knows he's been hurt. He's going to come out and put the pressure on. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You've got to be ready for that. Don't fight fire with fire. Hold him off. Be smart because he's going to try and put you under pressure. He knows your legs have gone. He knows your head's not cleared. Be sharp.
Nice counter shot. When you've got someone with the hand speed that this fighter possesses, how do you deal with it?
When you have a fighter that's got that great footwork and that great hand speed, it's so hard. It's an uphill battle.
That hook doesn't score. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. That punch is beginning to take its toll. When you're a power puncher, you're not as concerned with how many punches you throw. It's about how many you land and how hard they are.
It's the one who draws first blood, Todd. That's what you've got to look at. If you've hit and you know you're in there with a banger, you've got to be on it, but you've got to be confident.
Good fight so far. Both of these fighters have had their moments.
perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
They need to be careful they don't punch themselves out here. Those counter punches have to hurt. The bravery being shown here is just incredible. Stamina is so important for these two fighters because it allows them to use their skills throughout the match. It can all come down to who's in better shape.
What can they change? Can they slow the pace down? Can they hope to knock them out early? What can they do? They've got to concentrate and relax. Because you know what you can do in the gym, you can do it in a fight. They've got to relax.
Catch and shoot. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Talk about Alvarez in that last round. Well, it's no secret who has the advantage after that last round. Let's see what they have in store for us in the next one.
I seriously hope the judges kept their eye on this fight, because if they haven't, there's going to be absolute uproar.
Just about that round, it was a bad round, but we don't care. Go.
The gaps will appear and he'll start tiring out.
So just keep him out there. I need you to win this round. Get your mind back, get your focus back, get that jab back. Just box him. Just be smart. Just get your shots off and don't give him anything.
The jab's working nice. It was 1-2 straight down the middle. You can't
worry about it. Get your mind back on the job.
That's the fight. Great round. Just stay focused. Don't let him back.
You're much better than this guy. You're much better. He's not in your league.
He's thinking.
Round 7, here we go. That last round was huge for him, Johnny. How does he keep the momentum going?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing, because you've won that hands down.
Nice counter punch. This fighter expending a lot of energy in this round. Misses. Scores with that overhand left. Well, Johnny, has anything surprised you here as we enter the final frames of this bout?
Don't get trigger happy, because all of a sudden you're going to be gassing yourself out trying to get that shot, and that's when they catch you.
You can see that heavy breathing, but that's not slowing him down. Good counter punch. Fantastic punch. This fight a little bit closer than I think a lot of people thought.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
That counter shot lands. Nice counter punch right up the middle. Energy. Oh, wait a minute. Canelo Alvarez just got rocked in a big way. I don't believe what we're seeing here.
What recovery skills they are. What a shot it was. Completely gone. I thought there's no way he's going to finish this round. But look at that. Look at the movement. Look at the speed. Back on it. Like it never happened.
That hook won't score. Punch, counter punch. Swing and a miss with that hook. heavy blow, and Saul is down. Let's watch this again. He set it up perfectly and knocked him down.
That's lights out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're out.
Not many people would have predicted it, but we've got a knockout victory.
Well, there's no argument right there. You say it. Night-night.
They ain't stopping me, I'm a pro like a Mac. Drip flow like a tap, tiptoe to the stack. Thrive under pressure, know when to attack. When it's showtime, front row to the back. Front line with my back up against the wall. If I'm up against the odds, then I'm about to give it all. About to get them all, I want everything they got. Coming for the top, I won't stop until I fall. Me, I'm trying to ball out like LaMelo Ball. Watch me switch the gears on and wait for him to stall. They're looking all small, trying to run before they crawl. Me, I'm going all out, up against it all. You're up against the clock, up against the clock. Trying to break the doors down, you should've changed the locks. I'ma bring them all down, everybody's up. And I pride when it's showtime, everybody watch. They ain't taking my spot, no way. They ain't taking what I got, no way. I'm in a fight of my life every day, and I ain't stopping now, yo, I'ma carry my weight. They ain't taking my spot, no way. They ain't taking what I got, no way. I'm in a fight of my life every day, and I ain't stopping now, yo, I'ma carry my weight. It's like they don't wanna see me win, that's cool. Yeah, man, I got this in the bag like school. They're trying to rock the boat, but the ride's too smooth. Cause I'm trying to bid the goal, and the vibes don't lose. You guys are old news, and your styles don't ooze. You're going head to head with the guy who won't move. Your tide goes snooze with your blind old views. Yeah, you couldn't walk a yard or a mile in my shoes. Yeah, I'ma smile all the way to the dubs. Cause what's an extra mile if you come from the muds? I'm a wild out, watch me ramp it up. Check my style out, everybody look. I'm like Gordon Ramsay, that's just how I cook. My old thing fancy, I don't give a. I ain't giving up now, till I'm living good now. Won't stop until I'm at the top, so high I have to look down. They ain't taking my spot, no way. They ain't taking what I got, no way. I'm in a fight of my life every day, and I ain't stopping now, yo, I'ma carry my weight. They ain't taking my spot, no way. They ain't taking what I got, no way. I'm in a fight of my life every day, and I ain't stopping now.
I'm Todd Grisham, and there's nothing quite like the Empire Fight Camp, especially at night. Alongside me, English fighting legend Johnny Nelson.
About time, too.
It's time for our tale of the tape. Vasily Lomachenko. He's 5'6" tall, weighing in at an even 130 pounds. That's a lightweight limit, and he's got a reach of 65 inches. And the man he'll be facing, King Ryan Garcia. Weighed in at 61 kilos, bang on. He's 178 centimeters tall with a reach also of 178 centimeters.
Remember, there's a shorter reach.
There can only be one, Lomachenko. One of the most technically skilled fighters in all of boxing. No one moves around the ring like Lomachenko. King Rye.
This bout,
They'll be fighting under the light. After months of uncertainty, we finally have a fight. Which one of these athletes is going to be the first to get rocked? Which one of these athletes is going to say, I can't take it anymore? Fantastic punch. It's fight night, and as you can see, it is night as we fight under the stars for this big, highly anticipated main event.
These fighters are about to block themselves off and say, right, that's it. Keep out of it. Now it's fight time. The whole day, everybody's been waiting for these two. This is it. This is it.
Misses with the straight left. Swinging big and missing big with that hook. We've seen this fighter in the past go 12 rounds and not have a mark on their face. That's what happens when you stick and move, you hit and you don't get hit.
It's a flat-footed fight. If you've got a dancer out there in front of you, you've got to cut them off. Cut the ring off. Make the ring small. Put them on the back foot. Put them under pressure.
These two are the perfect dance partners.
Skill for skill. Tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
He threw the hook. Didn't land. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. This counter fighter believes in the anything you can do, I can do better. They'll let you throw a punch first, and they'll answer you and usually hit you harder.
They have got great ring IQ. Counter punches are the best.
No rest for the weary. Good-looking jab. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Talk about Loma in that last round. Well, this is the time that the trainer needs to come in and say something special. This fighter needs to turn the tables in this next round.
Every second, every minute of this fight is important. Every second, every minute of this round is important. You cannot afford to lose it.
can't miss him. Great work. Stay focused. Don't let him back into the
Stepping around. I need you to focus on what you're doing. You don't want to lose this fight, do you? Come on.
Well, we've just taken a big breath, and here we go again. Off their stools and ready to go. Let's hope this round is more competitive.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then, put the pressure on.
counter punch. Back and forth they go. He's got to find a way to get around that reach advantage.
Hodge, reach as well as speed, reach as well as power. What more can a fighter ask for?
Good one. Just when you think they're going to have a lull in the action, we get it heated back up. A swing and a miss with that jab. The hand speed in these lighter divisions is always so impressive, but if you can sneak in a power shot every once in a while and sit down on a punch, that's where you separate yourself. Both of these fighters have had their moments.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
You'd like to see more jabs. Every time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. You can tell he's stronger, but he's not faster. It's not always about who hits harder. In this division, ring IQ can go a long way.
I've never seen a fighter so fast in my life. How do you deal with this? You've got to hope they run out of steam.
Counter shot lands. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. Lomachenko in trouble. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Talk about Loma in that last round. You know that bell was sweet music to his ears.
Wow, it's like two different leagues.
Let's get it started in round 3. That corner has got to find a way to get some momentum behind their fighter.
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
That's another scoring shot. A perfect counter lands. What do you think of this fight so far, Johnny?
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. If you get desperate, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
Well done with that counter shot. You couldn't write a script like this. This is like Rocky versus Apollo. Both men step back for just a moment. Well, you know, in this division, you got to have speed and you got to have footwork, or you're going to be a cooked goose.
How do you deal with an aggressive fighter? What you do is you fight fire with fire. You either give it them back because that's where they're comfortable, or you play calm, play cool.
Beautiful counter shot. Good counter punching. And this is a you hit me hard, I'll hit you hard type of fight. That punch has been his best weapon all fight long. And he scores with the counter. That counter punch caught him clean. Punch, counter punch. These two fighters are made for one another. Those counter punches have to hurt. The only fear you have with this fighter is, has he punched himself out? Nice defense on that hook. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Loma in that last round. And a round that seemed like an eternity for them finally comes to a close.
The bell, sometimes it can be the sweetest sound.
Yes, I like that round. Good round. You feel good?
Here we go to the fourth round. Safe to say that last round was a nightmare. Let's see if we can turn it around here.
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on you. And that's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
How about that time counter shot? Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Here we go with the lightweights. Get ready to see some blazing hand speed and fancy footwork.
What can they change? Can they slow the pace down? Can they hope to knock them out early? What can they do? They've got to concentrate and relax. Because you know what you can do in the gym. You can do it in a fight. They've got to relax.
Deciding to let it all hang out here in this round. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. How nervous would you get when you know you're facing a big puncher like this that can seriously hurt you?
This could be really intimidating, Todd. If you know somebody's got the punch power, someone's got the speed, it can be intimidating. It just depends on how confident you are as a fighter.
When are we going to see a jab from these two? Timing beats speed. Speed beats power. You hear people talk about a boxer's chin. Do they have a good chin? Do they have a glass jaw? Those are questions that are being answered here tonight.
Work the body, frustrate them, take the mind off the chin, take the mind off protecting everything around that. Work the body, use tactics. Sometimes it's alright to actually outbox a fight and beat them on points.
Swing and a miss with the hook. Missing with the hook. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Talk about Loma in that last round. At this point, you got to believe he can't win on the scorecards. Going to need a knockout.
You know, I've been in fights like that. When you're thinking, come on.
Back into the fray here in round 5. So not the best round, but let's see if they can turn it around here.
Now he knows he's been hurt. He's going to come out and put the pressure on. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You've got to be ready for that. Don't fight fire with fire. Hold him off. Be smart because he's going to try and put you under pressure. He knows your legs have gone. He knows your head's not cleared. Be sharp.
The Johnny, you know, in the lightweight division, they've got fast hands, so get ready to see some lightning.
Todd, you know what? Sometimes when I've done in the ring with fights like that, and you punch them, you just want to run. You want that spaceship to come and lift you out there because you think, what the hell am I going to do now?
A big whiff with the right hook. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there would be some more action here. Nice idea with the jab, but does not land. Blistering hand speed from both of these outstanding lightweights.
What you've got to do, Tony, is anticipation. You've got to wait. You just got to throw caution to the wind and just hope. You're never going to know where the shots are coming from. You just got to put in a guess.
I want to think of holding on here for a minute. Nice counter. The right hook misses. Uh-oh! Lomachenko just got rocked. Disaster averted, it seems. We continue on. Look at the swelling and the bruising. They're going to take a look, and they may stop this fight. Wow, so the referee is not going to stop it, and the fight continues. Big hook doesn't land. Starting to take some deep breaths now, but still fighting hard. The right hook just missed. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Talk about Loma in that last round. They've got the momentum. They've got the advantage. How do they carry that into the next round?
Dominance.
Let's start the sixth. Well, Johnny, can he keep the momentum going after that last huge round for him?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round. Everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
In this division, both fighters will constantly be on their toes trying to punch and counterpunch.
Because you've got a good chin doesn't mean you've got leather skin. It means you can still get caught. So you've got to go for those point areas over the eyebrow, the cheekbone. You've just got to try and cut them, skim them, go for speed.
A perfect counter shot. Caution is being thrown to the wind. The courage on display here is incredible. Neither fighter willing to slow down. Well, Johnny, as you know, there's a fine line between being aggressive and being too aggressive.
Todd, look back in history. Sugar Ray Leonard against Roberto Duran. The first fight, Sugar Ray Leonard tried to fight, stand there toe-to-toe with him. The second fight, he thought, this guy's aggressive. He's nasty. He'll do everything to get the win. I've got to box him. I've got to frustrate him. I've got to humiliate him and show him how good a boxer I am. That's the only way you beat an aggressive fighter. Show your boxing skills. Step out of the way. Don't fight fire with fire. Use brain over brawn.
Halfway through the round, and it's pretty much even Steven.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Nice counter shot. They're both trying for a knockout. You'd like to see more jabs. He needs to be careful not to punch himself out. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Nice counter punch right up the middle. Lomachenko is buzzed. Talk about Loma in that last round. Well, there was no doubt about who won that round.
As long as they don't get complacent, you think this is too easy. If they keep this same kind of pace up, they've got this fight.
I love that. I love that. That jab is slick.
Can't switch on. Get your boxing back together.
You get him out. He's ready to go. He's absolutely shattered. He's hurt.
Here comes round 7. Coming off that fantastic last round. Let's see if he can keep his momentum going.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
This fighter's certainly not going to out-throw their opponent by any means, but they will, when they hit, be a lot harder.
They know the second they touch you, it's done. They're that powerful.
Nice counter shot. That punch lands. There's a counter shot. Threw the uppercut but did not score. Beautiful counter punch. We hear that old phrase, second win. You've got to find it somehow.
Now this is about desire. This is about character. This is about want.
Missed with that right uppercut. Missing with that right hook. Missing with that jab. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. As we enter the final frames of this bout, Johnny, what have we seen so far?
What a gift. What a gift it is to have a chin where you know you can walk through anything and everything.
I wouldn't be surprised if they stopped this fight considering the swelling and the bruising. And I can't believe that it's ended this way.
Time was of the essence, and it was a matter of time when this happened.
Another TKO.